next here on STL TV Live. I'm back with Dr. Paul Wise from the Undy Run Walk. You're also a doctor connected to a group connected to the Colon Cancer Alliance. What's unique about this is tell me about the funds that were raised at the walk this past weekend.
So they've raised almost $150,000 for colon cancer awareness and trying to find a cure for colorectal cancer. And the greatest thing about it is those funds, actually a large portion of those come back to the St. Louis community. So this is the biggest run that they do across the country. We had over 2,000 participants, and they were the folks that raised that much money. Over the last 7 to 8 years, they've raised almost, or actually more than $750,000. And a big portion of those funds come back into St. Louis. Our group specifically is looking at means to try to help those who don't have insurance or don't have enough insurance to cover colorectal cancer screening. We've made it available that we can do colonoscopies or other means to try to get those folks tested. So the best part about the event is that a lot of those funds come back to help St. Louis.
Right, so the support services. So when we talk about prevention and screening, and you mentioned in the first segment the age that you should do that, what else should we know about this? I mean, is there something about our diet or our health, our activity that actually plays a part in this?
Yeah, unfortunately Americans are at really high risk related to the rest of the world because our diets are not spectacular. So we have a lot of, our diets are heavy in red meats and a lot of processed meats that put us at higher risk. There are a lot of other factors. When you're overweight, you're at higher risk for colorectal cancer, so trying to get people to lose weight, smoking, try to quit smoking, try to avoid alcohol in excess. There's lots of other prevention things. Actually, if you go to the Siteman Cancer website, there are great resources to try to look at not only people can get their cancer risks assessed, so they can put in features about themselves that'll tell them what their cancer risks are, not just colorectal cancer, but others. And there are also prevention steps. They have this thing called 8 ways, and you can look at 8 different ways to prevent cancer. But it's really impressive the things that people can do to try to limit their risk. Some things you can't change. You can't change your age. Obviously, we'd all love to, but as we get older, we're at higher risk. And then our family histories or personal histories, there are certain things that make us higher risk, and your physician can help to try to sort some of that out so people really understand what their risks are.
And then on the research side, I mean, you hear all the time people saying we're eradicating cancer. I mean, or a cure for cancer. I mean, how does that connect with colon cancer and colorectal cancer? Is there a cure? I mean, is it close? Is it nearby? Is this?
Well, the good news is if we catch it early enough, we can cure it. So not only is it a preventable disease, but if we catch it early, we can either do an operation or other treatments that can help cure folks. And so that's the good news about it. Now, once it becomes more advanced, it's very hard to cure, and there are lots of different treatments that are out there, but that becomes a little bit more tricky under those circumstances. And so the research side of things, the research is working on every level. So the School of Public Health at WashU is working really hard to try to help increase awareness out there in the community and try to get people who don't have access to get screened. There's also basic science research that's going on to look at how do the cancer cells act and what do they do. There's a lot about genetics that's involved with colorectal cancer and other cancers, and there are a lot of researchers working on that as well. So it's really kind of a multi-pronged attack on cancer to try to figure out how can we identify it, prevent it, cure it.
And part of it, again, with the race, the run and the walk, is raising that awareness. And so is this something you ultimately feel everyone, regardless of your age, male, female, everyone should be aware of and,
absolutely,
and eventually getting tested for?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think, well, I don't have a family history, so I'm not at risk, and that's completely not the case. I wish it were, but to make our jobs easier, we could just focus on a subset of people. But it doesn't matter what age, race, ethnicity you are, you have the potential of having colorectal cancer. And so focusing in on that, even young people, we see it unfortunately in folks that are quite young, focusing on those symptoms and then making sure as you get older you get appropriate screening is really key.
Okay. No, well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for telling us about the Undy Run Walk. We've got some information for you on the screen. Again, the run and the walk actually already took place in Forest Park, and as Dr. Weiss mentioned, a lot of money was raised, but you can still go to call this phone number, 877-422-2030, about more information of the Colon Cancer Alliance. You can also go to Siteman's website to learn more prevention tips, as Dr. Weiss mentioned. But thank you again for being here. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to return with Audrey Jones and Dorothy Davis from Mannequins on the Loop. We'll be right back after this break.